are now live with the What If Roundtable week number 30. I am MasakoX. I am joined by my colleague Haverok.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, he bids you welcome. And we already have. Oh wow, okay, we got the super chats flooding in right now. For those of you who are brand new to the table here, first off, this is the What If Roundtable, where we, as quickly as possible, because we get a lot of people really supporting the channel, which is very, very much appreciated. In the times of YouTube, hashtag YT being YT, you know, and all that, this really does help. And we also get to share some ideas with you about what ifs. And we have proven that now, what ifs get results and get their own story. What with the what if Bulma trained like Goku one, especially. I really like that one. But
yeah.
No, definitely. So this does prove that it gets results. So first off, let's see if we can get the stream to 200 likes before we begin. That's so be sure to gently tap that like button. And yeah, oh, there we go.
Caress it. Yeah, give us those stamps, guys.
Respect
all the
it.
thumbs.
Respect the like button, because we should be taught to respect like buttons. Yeah, smashing the like button, no, that's way too coarse on it. You know, you gotta be gentle with it. But yeah, no, we're on our way there, definitely. But for those of you who don't know, we provide what if questions and solutions, and if you want your what if scenario to be looked at and you want to support the channel, you can leave a super chat, and we will take a look at it. And we are, or as Dausiel has, become a member. Welcome. Dausiel as a member, because that helps support the channel as well as buying merch from the Teespring store, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But let's get cracking, because we got 275 people in the chat, and we've already got some to come. So, Haverok, I believe you picked one out first.
Yeah, but that wasn't the super chat one.
Oh, okay. But we
so
do have...
let's start with the super chat. If we get some time, I will discuss that one, because I made a note.
Oh wow! Oh, DL Orca's already with a $50 donation, just a straight up one. Thank you so much. That will
Holy
really...
macaroni.
Yes, holy rigatoni, because everyone says macaroni. I like rigatoni. That's a good pasta. But yeah, Mythos Irving with the first what if of the night. What if Universe 7 Saiyans were good like the Universe 6 Saiyans were evil, but as the Universe 6 arc, some were good, but Goku still ended up on Earth? Maybe Beerus blew up planet Vegeta, though it would be Salada. That's about a meal. Bit of a mouthful. But yeah, from the looks of it, what if the Universe Saiyans were good like the Universe 6 Saiyans? So, okay, they were all benevolent, but like, were evil, but as Universe 6 arc, some were good. So basically, as in like, Planet Vegeta, Universe 7, Planet Vegeta they were good, pretty much.
Kinda, you know, like, I mean, you know, your what if Saiyans listen to Bartok is going into that direction.
I'd say it's pretty much along those lines. You know, if Bartok was given the chance, I think, to lead, I think the Saiyans would end up becoming more neutral, maybe not pure good and stuff like that. And Mythos has done another super chat elaborating, basically just swapped. And welcome Christopher Green as a brand new member. So we got all the members coming in. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Really appreciate it. We can make more what ifs and make R&R happen more. By the way, guys, episode 5, well into production. We've started recording.
Yep.
Okay, Futo. What if Goku Black and Zamasu didn't fuse? Okay, so I think Vegeta would have eventually defeated Goku Black, and then even though Zamasu even though Zamasu's immortal, I think really he would have lost morale, because his plan would have just basically been screwed.
He would escape and still be a threat, but he would much less a threat.
Yeah, he'd be going like, "I'll get you next time, mortals," and stuff like that. You'd see him again. He'd come back and find another Goku from another timeline.
I mean, you know, guys, maybe something like this happened already in one of our what ifs, but you guys don't know yet.
Yeah, so you gotta stay tuned for that one. Futo again, what if Vegeta survived and watched Goku go Super Saiyan? Well, based on his reaction, how he actually was like, in the dub, you were, Kakarot, you old dog! You know? He was actually kind of proud at the time. But I think he kind of was anticipating that Goku would be the Super Saiyan, so I think he'd actually take it rather well. You know? I think he would genuinely do so.
Yeah, he would take a further reconsideration later, but at the moment, I think he would be kind of excited.
Yeah, at the time of the Frieza saga, you know. But later on, the resentment would then flood in, definitely. Nick Wolf, what if the red bands around Raditz' arms and legs are worn in memory for Bartok and Gine? Like how Bartok... Oh, they totally are. I'd say that's a total nod. But at the same time, Raditz came first. So I believe that Toriyama or Koyama or the staff, they probably added that in to like say, oh, the bandana is not only a thing for Bardock's fallen friends, but it's also, oh, that's a Raditz thing. So that was probably a retcon almost.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
But that's a good observation, Nick. Good call. Brendan Little, here's a non-serious what if to make you laugh. What if Hit and Tal figuratively and literally made the donuts together by opening a bakery? They'd be to die for. Those donuts would be to die for. Because Hit would make the donuts and Tao, you know, oh my god, you know, sampling a tongue. Yeah, licking donuts with his tongue, poisoning them.
Gosh.
That is kind of funny. That is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I like that. No, that it's good to have a little humour with the what if, so thank you very much, Brendan. Firebrand128. What if Upa trained to be a fighter? He'd be the strongest Native American you've ever seen. Basically like that one character from Power Stone. But yeah, no, Upa deserves some love, you know, Bora and Upa. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Darksnake X5. What if Piccolo and Krillin went with Goku to train under Whis? Well, in theory, all beings can obtain God Ki, but it's just it would be in different ways. I think it would just take a little longer. So I don't think they would be able to do it in as quick a time as the Saiyans did. But at the same time, I think Krillin would have gotten somewhat of a handle on it. He has the most potential out of all the humans. Okay, so Cody Connor, what if Bulla and Trunks were born together, like they were twins or something? Well, they get a lot more coverage than our Daikon and Muli would, that's for sure. But episode 5 will change that. But I suppose with Bulla and Trunks, I suppose that probably have a different dynamic. They probably... Oh, hey, Sophie B. Powerhouse is in the chat. Hello, Sophie.
Hey, Soph.
A fellow Dragon Ball what-ifer or AU enthusiast. Yeah, check out their channel, by the way.
Check out, yeah.
But I suppose Bulla and Trunks, if they were born together, they'd be more likely to do the same thing. So I think most likely that Bulla would end up being a fighter as well. Be more of a chance, that's for sure. Super Saiyan 4 Head, what if Vegeta never married? He'd probably just be training. Probably not as quickly as everyone else, really, because, yeah, he wouldn't have the gravity chamber all that time.
And probably he wouldn't soft as much. I mean, you mean only not marrying or not having trunks, because those are two separate things. No, just not marrying.
As in, like, you know, that implies that, you know, not getting, you know, like, not living on Earth and that kind of stuff. Like, he just never married and that kind of thing. I mean, in theory, Vegeta never really did marry. Yeah, it was kind of curious. I mean, he kind of just like went, it's okay, I'll roll with it, I suppose. That kind of thing. But, no, that's a good point, Super Saiyan. Brendan Little again. What if Future Ranch, Trunks, and Nappa accidentally visited the same timeline, causing them to bungle their grand entrances and crashing the time machines together? Oh, I can imagine that happening. Like, say, watch where you're flying that thing, dumbskulls! Pretty much like that. They end up just crashing in, or they somehow, become spaghettified and they end up fusing via time machines or something like that.
And time patrollers comes and give them a paper and a warning.
Oh yes, of course, you know. You're not supposed to. It's not supposed to time travel in this sector of the galaxy. Like, one of those things we could get away with, but having two? Oh, that's going to be a lot of paperwork, I tell you, for a super elite to handle. Okay, so Anime Guy 01. What if Goku was found and raised by Ox King? Well, he certainly wouldn't be afraid of fire, that's for sure, being on top of Fire Mountain. And probably he would have ended up being betrothed to Chi-Chi anyway. So he probably would have married Chi-Chi all the same.
You think? Wouldn't they be, like, siblings?
Well, it depends on how the Ox King goes about it. Like, he would just say, "Oh, yes, yes, little one. You are now betrothed and bequeathed to my daughter." As in something like that. Because technically they're not related or something like that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, like, I don't know if that would be the first thought if he found, you know, a baby.
I think it would depend on whether it was, like, Dragon Ball minus canon or not.
Yeah,
like, if he found him as a toddler.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Depends. But, okay. Red Dragon Force 2. What if Krillin was World Martial Arts Tournament champ instead of Hercule? So basically, during the Cell games, Krillin just goes, "Yeah, why not? I'll just enter the tournament because, you know, if we're gonna die, we may as well just have a bit of fun and try and get some prize money out of it." I think if he ended up being the World Martial Arts champ, I think Hercule would have still gone to the Cell games to prove himself. And if he finds out that Krillin's there, so, "Oh, that little punk that stole my belts there. Oh, I'm gonna show him a thing or two." Yeah, he would end up just like being like, Krillin would be his rival. And I think 18 would actually end up being, like, get together with Krillin more because she'd find out he'd have money.
Aww.
What?
Come on, that was mean. 18 isn't all about money. Come on.
Okay, she isn't all about money. Just sometimes about the money.
She has a practical view on the economy.
I know. But sometimes it is just funny that sometimes she just does perk up when she suddenly hears how much money's involved. But
somebody has to.
Yeah,
somebody
has to.
in the series has to.
Uziel, what if Gine went with Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta? That implies if Gine survived, but I don't think she'd last long, or she would find a way for her and Raditz to escape, or something like that. She would use her ways or somehow to be able to, like, break away from Nappa and Vegeta, or something. Like, they would stage some elaborate plan or something. But I don't really see the four of them actually banding together, you know? That seems a little odd. Dark Riolu, thank you very much for becoming a brand new member. Welcome. And if people want to know, you can become a member by pressing the join button down below just under this video. You'll be able to see it. So yeah. Revolt Lars Wolfblade. For my curiosity, has a Goku figure fell on its side in the middle shelf of your video's background? Yes. That is very true, it has. But the trouble is, though, it's so precarious, and I really need to tidy that little bit of corner back there. I do need to prop that Goku back up again, but I've got so many figures from Japan and from various conventions that I actually needed to do a video on to show them off. I'm then going to rearrange my cabinet and stuff like that. And I still need to send that copy of the Day of Zidane to Nexus. I know I do, but it's protected. As well as my secret rare Vegeta Dragon Ball Super trading card thing, which I found out is, is actually quite rare. It's not just, it's just not for name. But yeah, Lars, you are correct. Hyper Dragon 97. What if Cell turned good, but in the future Trunks timeline? So supposedly, like, so instead of like the Cell with the future Trunks that our Cell killed and took the time machine. So instead, he'd have to find a good, like, maybe trade-off or something like that. And by the way, Ben Reitz, welcome. Thank you very much for becoming a member. That would depend on them, Trunks and that Cell negotiating. But I don't think that imperfect Cell would negotiate.
I mean, for that to happen, I think there would future Trunks would have to have information that, people from the other timeline managed to make a good Cell, and then suggest to his mother, okay, let's take this one. He may be an asset.
No, I definitely agree with that. No, I'd say that's pretty much what I would say as well. So thank you, Hyperdragon. Tanya Bams, what if Frieza and Cooler had a sister, only they are afraid of her because she is stronger than them and Beerus couldn't get her to destroy the Saiyans first? So Frieza and Cooler had a sister, eh? So what would she be called? Need to come up with an ice pun.
Snowflake.
Oh, Snowfla. Or Isika.
Snowflake.
Snowfla
Isika, yeah.
or Isika, as in icicle.
Bliza.
Buriza and Buruma. But I think Isika. I-C-I-C-A. Isika, icicle. That's my one. But in terms of had a sister, it depends whether King Cold actually made her. So, oh, I didn't want this. It's a lady identifying one. Ooh, no, I can't have an Issaka Empire. It's a good gracious, no. Oh, King Cold, you're so backwards. But you know, it's food for thought. You know, tell you what, maybe that's for April Fools next year. Keep making note of that.
Yeah.
Why not?
We have some solid candidates.
Candidate for April Fools, What If 2020.
Yeah, we have at least 5, I think.
Yeah, but this is a candidate now, I think. Make a note of the name of Tanya.
Yeah.
And TV Shintari, thank you very much for becoming a member. Thank you. Welcome. Red Dragon Force, what if the Z Fighters learned the 5-man fusion? Well, if fusion's all to go by in terms of multipliers, then that would be really powerful. But then again, it wouldn't last very long, so they'd have to get the job done very quickly.
Yeah.
So basically, in the Tournament of Power, if Gohan's little contingent, like, fused together at that time, I think they'd be pretty strong.
I mean, imagine Aniliza, but stronger.
Yeah, pretty much. And Grey Ghost 2020, the Kid Chi-Chi pick and Saiyan armor, I do believe I did see that on Twitter. So thank you very much for sharing, by the way. The Grey Bard, what if the Dragon Balls could do everything but resurrect people? I actually did do a story about this. Grey Bard, check out my video, what if the Dragon Balls couldn't resurrect people? So basically, you could do any other wish, but you couldn't resurrect people. So I did do that what if. So do check that out. Mythos serving again, what if Goku or one of his friends, after the Saiyan Saga, used the Dragon Balls to make his Earth friends Saiyan like him? I mean, they'd be potentially very powerful, but I think that would be way too OP. Like, you know, would everyone want to become a Saiyan? That'd be very assuming. So he would have to probably ask all of his friends whether they want to be Saiyans or not.
Also, would Shenron be able to do this?
Maybe for like, probably not multiple people. Maybe like one at a time. So probably, I think most likely, if he was able to change the DNA of a person, it'd probably just be one person at a time. You know, the Kami generation Shenron, I think. So probably Goku would have to pick and choose. Okay, so Nick Wolf, what if Ginyu took over Tarball? The no one would suspect. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So if Ginyu somehow took over the brother of Vegeta and laid low and just like, you know, trained in his own time, because he would know that this Saiyan would be too weak. He'd try and crumble the system from within. So that's actually kind of curious. I definitely think he would do that. He would lay low and just try and suss people out, definitely. Christopher Green, is there a possibility for a tournament arc featuring various what-if scenarios similar to Dragon Ball Multiverse? Maybe. We'd have to, like, maybe come up with that. Maybe that could be our Christmas special. That'd be a fun Christmas one. So we'll think about that. Yeah. Maybe that could be a Christmas special. MR Manifesto. What if Gohan trained for 7 years after the Cell Games? Would he be powerful enough to stop Boo or Super Boo without training from Supreme Kai? Maybe not, but he'd be a lot closer. And he'd be a lot more inclined to at least try. So I think if he had trained and then got the training from the Elder Kai and Supreme Kai, I think he would have beaten Boo. Like, he would have beaten Boo hands down. And he probably would be more able to kind of take, you know, he'd be much less likely to have succumbed to his cockiness. He'd have a much
he wouldn't give him a chance. Yeah, he wouldn't give him a chance.
No,
basically.
definitely not. No, I'd say I would agree with that. Life sucks. What if Goku doesn't make it in time in the Saiyan Saga? Changes a lot. Oh yeah, everyone would be gone pretty much. Gohan probably would have been kidnapped or something like that. And I think maybe Krillin might have been left to, like, tell the tale. They might have just kept him alive just to, you know, rue the day or something like that.
Oh my, old man Krillin in post-apocalyptic world.
It's like, war never changes.
You know, wearing like the turtle shell, but it's the shell of the turtle.
It's
you know,
the
actual
shell of
turtle.
the turtle.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, dog. Okay, Matsuyo Riffic. What if Beerus destroyed Frieza instead of having Frieza destroy the Saiyans? Well, I think Planet Vegeta would have ended up being destroyed anyway. Because Beerus didn't like the Saiyans anyway. He just delegated the job to Frieza, pretty much. Like, he was just going like, I can't be bothered to go that far into the universe and the galaxy. Frieza, you do it while I go to sleep. Pretty much. He delegated. He delegated a job he was meant to do. So I think he would have ended up blowing up Planet Vegeta anyway.
Unless they retcon that again, but hey.
It depends, but I think a very strong chance that Beerus would have still destroyed Planet Vegeta. Zenki the Margin. Do you remember Android 8? Yes, I do. In the anime, his bomb is removed by Dr. Frapp. But what if Goku brought Ada to Bulma to remove the bomb, and that kickstarts an interest in building androids? So maybe, like, if it finds out that Dr. Giro is done, maybe Bulma would come up with it, well, I've got my own little plan of my own. So she would probably just counter with her own androids and stuff like that. But these ones would be much more benevolent.
That's actually really cool.
That'd be cool. Giant robots. Giant robot fight. Yo, you just make a Super 8. Oh, that's brilliant. Because Super 8's a type of video or cassette format. So you just come up with Super 8. Super 8. You just make him, like, even more powerful and even kinder. That'd be neat. Make a note of it.
Yeah.
Brian Cubero. What if Nam joined the Z Fighters? They'd be a whole lot wiser, that's for sure. Jaden Lawrence. What if Parter was a Z Fighter? If only. But he was in Xenoverse 2, technically, so did realise his dreams there. George J. What if Goku saved Berta or Raccoon? Would the events of the Namek Saga be altered if Goku had defended one of them? Would they turn good? Maybe. It depends. Maybe Raccoon. Raccoon might have turned good. Because Raccoon seemed like the most noble out of all of them.
Despite being a brute. I think any of them would have chance except Guldo. Guldo was a little scam.
Ginyu and Goldo, no. Jace, Raccoon, and Berta? Maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say they'd be more likely to turn good. Because, you know, if they were shown nobility. But yeah, they seem... Berta and Raccoon, they're two of the more likely ones. Definitely. Andrew Sobel. What if Arale from Dr. Slump joined Kid Goku's gang in Dragon Ball? Well, we did see that briefly happen in Dragon Ball, and it was kind of interesting. But her gag-like powers, I think, probably would have ended up... Our power levels would have never existed. Because Toriyama, trying to, like, get his handle around that and power levels and Arale's earth-shattering abilities... I mean, yeah, a lot of the things that would have happened in Dragon Ball would have probably been ended much earlier. Because Arale...
And it would be harder to put some serious tension as well.
Yeah, basically, Frieza goes, I am going to destroy planet Namek. I'm going to do that. Whack. Or, like, if Frieza does blow the planet up, to the next shot, it's back. He goes, what? What the? How does that even work? I fixed it. That little child fixed it in 2 seconds. Yeah, of course. I'm awesome. It's like, I don't get the laws of this world. And Vegeta's like, trust me, neither do I. She'd end up just fixing everything. Pretty much.
And Frieza is like, damn you, Toriyama!
Damn you, Toribot. Timothy Ron, what if Kid Goku wanted to become a superhero? Well, he'd probably be a fan of Superman, that's for sure. Or Boobeen Bean Man, definitely. Old little references there. MR Manifesto, here's a big one. Gogeta, Gohan, Piccolo, 17, Majin Buu, and Super Broly versus Cooler and Turles, and trying to stop them on another planet when enacting the Tree of Might plan together before Earth. Planet before Earth. Man, that is a pretty big one. I think, with Cooler and Turles, I think the good guys would win, quite frankly. That's, like, way overpowered. But it would be pretty cool to see. Manifesto, I will give you that. Definitely. Timothy Ron, what if Turles was Vegeta's partner? So it was Vegeta and Turles. Well, Turles is technically stronger than... Actually, I need to check out the list of power levels. Because I'm not too sure what power level Turles' was, because there is a guide for that. Tree of Might. Turles, 19,000. Okay. Power level of 19,000, so around about the same as Vegeta's, actually. So I'd say he'd actually end up... They probably would win. They'd just win. I think Turles would be much more subservient.
Yeah. The only thing that could change that is like if they turn them against each other, and I think Turles would be much more... They would try to outsmart each other.
Yes.
You know, and
Vegeta
trick
probably
each
would get
other.
sick and tired of that, but then Turles, he might even overthrow Vegeta.
Yeah.
You know, he'd probably try and outsmart Vegeta. And
He could backstab him during the fight.
Oh yeah, no, they'd be bickering a lot, definitely. Dark Riolu, what if Goku was taught Crane style instead of Turtle style? Who knows, we might have had an assassin Goku. Or Tenshinhan and Goku may have been best buds, and they may have been like fighting, sparring partners.
Yeah. We had that in one of the previous episodes, and maybe we are thinking about it.
Yeah,
maybe.
No. Maybe. Podo, what if Goku never stopped patting people to see if they were a boy or a girl, even all the way into Super? Oh, you could not do that these days. Oh, no.
No.
As Perfect Cell would say, this is aged well. That's pretty much no. That was just a joke because Goku was such a country bumpkin. That was pretty much the only way he could find out how. So yeah, if you see that, if you watch Dragon Ball for the first time and you see that, just remember, this was in 1986 or 1984 in the manga. So just remember that.
80s.
It was acceptable in the 80s, as Calvin Harris once said. ICCX Owen, what if the first DBZ Broly movie was canon and Gohan went Super Saiyan 2 against Broly? He might have won. I think Gohan might have won. Because judging in terms of power, Broly at that full power probably was around about the same as Super Perfect Cell. So I think with everyone together, they probably would have still won against Broly. But with Gohan, like, you know, leading the charge. I think. Zoan Blade 90. What if Goku landed on Earth instead of Superman? We just get Dragon Ball, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. Except Goku wears a suit more often and wears glasses. Pretty much. I think that's...
And I think Batman would retire if he had to deal with
Batman
Goku.
Would just retire. It's like...
Nope.
Nope. Just nope. Nick Sorensen. What if Cooler had a Universe 6 counterpart that was a brother of Frost? I don't know, actually. I feel like... I don't think that would... I think that probably wouldn't really happen. I think Frost is like a mixture of the two. Because Frost is quite calculating and Cooler's quite calculating too. But at the same time, I think they're quite sneaky. So it depends.
We don't know enough about Frost. I hope they will explore that at some
yes,
day.
We need to know a bit more about Frost before we can properly elaborate on that. Cody Connor. What if Dr. Giro... Yeah, what if Dr. Giro decided to try and help humanity after Raditz? Basically trying to prepare Earth for extraterrestrial threats. Well, that's kind of what we did in the what if Giro and Frieza teamed up thing. Just a little earlier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking back through... I don't believe... I'm sorry, Jeffrey, but... Yeah, we're looking at Super Chats primarily because there are just so many, so I'm afraid. But basically, Jiro would try and help humanity after Raditz. That is his goal. Yeah, other than defeating Son Goku. Once he's done that, he wants to better humanity via technology. So, he would pretty much want to try and do that, but he would have to come out of the shadows much sooner. Or Toriyama would have had to invented him sooner. Firebrand128, for what if Goku is female? I figured Upa would take Chi-Chi's place in the story and train to fight Goku and ultimately marry her. Well, you know, that's fair. Upa would... Probably that might be a good excuse to fight for Upa to try and find her. But I think we pretty much would have the same thing with Krillin. Like, she's just not interested. But yeah. Strife David. Hi, Masako. Just wanted to show my love in monetary form. Well, thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful, Strife. My what if suggestions today will be, what if O'Reilly from the Dr. Slump series has somehow joined the Z-Fighters? Well, we did just cover that, and pretty much it would have broken the entire power level scaling system. We wouldn't have a little mini economy on YouTube, that's for sure. You know, you just couldn't do that. It would be pretty bonkers. But thank you very much, Strife, all the same. Quote, what if King Vegeta was cursed with future sight? So basically, if King Vegeta could see the future.
That's a cool one.
Oh, I think if he did... Oh, he'd do what Bartok did in our Convince the Saiyans thing. He would just take a bunch of his Saiyans and escape. Oh, yeah. Or he would keep the information to himself and his Saiyan elites.
No. I think he wouldn't banish Broly then.
Well, it depends.
I think he actually would... You know. I think what he could do would kill Paragus and adopt Broly and pretend that he's his father.
Oh, right. Okay, so he would indoctrinate Broly and can believe that he's his dad.
And escape with Broly and Broly, Vegeta, and some of
Oh, he'd take
some
he'd
his
pretty
warriors.
much keep his inner circle with him and leave the rest of the Saiyans to like fend for themselves.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he would do. He'd be very.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, make a note of that. Definitely. That could be cool. The X territory. What if Goku had a twin sister who was instead sent to Nemec and was raised by Nail? Her name was Ika, an absolute legend. Because you see the Saiyan pod of a female Saiyan with a well-endowed. Goku had a twin sister. Her name was Ika or whatever. Well, again, we have talked about this before. That Saiyan would not flourish on Nemec because they only have a vegetable diet.
Yeah.
They unless they were able to find a way to produce meat or something like that.
And guys, remember, like, other than, droughts and stuff like this, Namek don't really have any beasts. Not a lot of monsters, so not really fight for survival. Like, she might train with the warriors, but
maybe train with the Dragon Clan.
Yeah, with the dragon. But,
Red Dragon Force 2. What if Gohan became the tutor martial arts instructor instead of a scholar, aka training Earthlings to increase their intellect and average power? Well, he kind of
interesting question.
Yes, an interesting question, Haverok. Have you got something to say?
Yeah, that we have a discussion that's coming on that's telling stuff about this.
Yeah, so do stay tuned about that because we do want to use Gohan in some way. So do stay tuned, definitely.
Yeah.
Waxicon, do you think if Toriyama kept Saiyan Tails, the fight story would be really different, or would it be treated like something that's just there? Oh, he would have probably eventually just forgotten about the Tails. Because,
He kind of did.
But by the time we got to Z, we have Vegeta and Nappa just going like, oh, that old trick. Oh, that doesn't work anymore. So pretty much one of the few things that it was there for, was kind of negated. And the only reason that it would ever be there, again, was just to have giant monkeys. But then they just find ways to get around it by just not looking at the moon and stuff like that. Or just never having a similar situation where they're not looking at the moon in general, pretty much. They would write their way around it. I mean, the Tournament of Power could be interesting once we get into like the second half and stuff like that with the moon phase. Nick Wolf, what if shapeshifters like Oolong and Puar could copy the powers of people they shape into? Basically, if they became Ditto. Well, that would be interesting. Because I think Oolong could do that. I think he could. I think he was one of the better ones, Transfigurators. The only difference, he could only keep it up for about 9 minutes or something like that. I think. Is that right?
Mm,
He can only keep it up
I
for a
don't.
short amount of
I don't
time.
remember.
I think he could only
Haven't
keep it up for a short amount of
refreshed.
time.
Yeah.
Puar was good, but their face stayed the same pretty much. Anime Guy 01. What if 17 and 18 destroyed Dr. Gero before he shut them down the first time? Well, we probably would have had 17 and 18 ending up destroying Son Goku anyway. But probably would have, you know, in their own sweet time or something like that. Or maybe they might have rebelled more likely. They probably might have maybe just, like, rebelled, you know, and done something else.
You know, good question if he made Cell before, because if he didn't make Cell, no Android Saga. If he made Cell, well, I think it would be even worse for them because they wouldn't have 16.
Yeah, that is very true. 16 was the voice of reason in that relationship. Victor Bryce, what if Tien, Chaozu, and Yamcha were at Roshi's when Raditz arrived? Probably just more bystanders, pretty much. Like, they really were not in... Their power levels ran about the same as Krillin's was at the time. So they probably would have ended up just basically, you know, just being more witnesses to it. And just more people to go, oh, what? Goku's an alien? Pretty much like that. And by the way, Jeffrey Brenstetter, thank you very much for becoming a member. Thank you and welcome.
Welcome.
That's a good question. That's an intriguing question, definitely. But, I don't know. Oh, was it dead? Oh, was it dead for a second?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if chat can hear you though.
Oh, okay. Well, no, my mic's registering it okay. I think my audio DAC went down. But what I was saying, could Tien split in two with multiform and then use the fusion dance on himself? I guess he could, actually. Because, well, you know, what's a half times a half? Like, 0.5 times 0.5. Oh, ooh, okay. Actually, if you were going to use mathematics as a multiplier, he'd actually end up being weaker.
Yeah.
Because 0.5 times 0.5 is like a quarter. So I believe that would have been like the paradox, that Ten Shinhan would have ended up being even weaker. And then he would probably realize it's pointless. Chris Podonsky, Nemec and Wish. Everyone brought back. Why no Saiyans? I don't know, actually. Because it was but everyone killed by Frieza and his men. So, I guess maybe there is a time limitation? Like, at the time. I suppose modern-day Purunga and Super could, in theory, do it. But would anyone want to? Probably not. The X Territory. What if Goku had a twin sister who was instead sent to Nemec and was raised by Nell and the Mechans? Okay, no, we've had that one already. But thank you very much, X Territory, we'll say. Super Saiyan Forehead. What if Cronoa came to recruit Future Trunks and Might at the end of the Future Trunks arc instead of sending them off to the new timeline? Basically, we'd have had Xeno Trunks much sooner, and that would have been confirmation that the Xenoverse, you know, Time Patrol timeline was in Super. That would have been Xeno Trunks confirmed. Joseph Allen, thank you very much. Welcome becoming a member. Thank you. But yeah, no, we would have had that would have been the Xeno timeline in the main canon, pretty much. Brian Kubera, what if Ranch ate the Tree of Might fruit instead of Turles? Well, we would have definitely, at the time. Well, actually, no, Ranch wasn't around at the time. So, if she was somehow able to find a Tree of Might, a fruit from the Tree of Might, just somehow, she would probably end up being, like, much stronger. Like, Turles went from 19,000 to 300,000, so that was like a 15 times multiplier. So she would end up being a lot stronger in base form. Like, if she had a multiplier of times 15 from the fruit, it depends whether it's permanent or if it's just a temporary boost. So, if she used it for a fight and went Super Saiyan 2, she'd actually end up quite strong. Like, probably the equivalent of roughly Super Saiyan 3, maybe? Depends. Jeffrey Brandstetter, what if Goku got with launch? That would be a very tumultuous relationship, that's for sure. That would be that'd be pretty precarious, I must admit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be funny. I mean, it'd be Goku trying to calm, you know, launch down. Oh, oh, okay. Zenki the Margin elaborated on this Ten Shinhan thing. I was looking at, like, cutting in half. If base power is 100 and you split into two 50s, 50 times 50 is 2,500. A 25 times multiplier. Okay, Zenki, if you're going to use that logic, then that's definitely fair enough. So, I was going with a different mathematical way of getting around it, but I think yours makes much more sense. I was looking at, like, literally the halving. So, yeah, you're looking at the actual power level. So, yeah, no, that's a fair point. That is definitely a fair point. So, very much quote, thank you very much, Zenki, thank you very much for that. Dark Fantasy, what if Turles was canon and turned good? He'd probably be one of the least likely Saiyans to actually turn good. But if he did, there'd be a lot of confusion between him and Goku, pretty much. There'd be lots of jokes concerning that Goku and Turles look exactly the same.
And they could use it as, you know, at their advantage against Dr. Giro, for example.
Oh yeah, they could use Turles as like as bait or something like that. And you know, that could prove out to be funny, quite funny actually. Infinity War 23. What if Bartok's friends survived? Now, a couple of you, I got an email about this as well, from a chap. And, you know, basically if his crew survived, so that means somehow on Planet Meat they escaped Dodoria. So if somehow they were able to escape. Or if they, you know, faked their death or something. So basically, one thing I suggested to this chap would be that they would actually take their pods or somehow get to, you know, find out over the grapevine about where Kakarot was. Or where Raditz was, or something like that. Or maybe if they did find out where Raditz was, they would try and, like, indoctrinate him and saying, we are your father's, you know, closest allies. We want to basically make you our leader. Or train you up. Stuff like that. So Raditz would have ended up being, you know, the new leader. Inheriting it from Bartok. That'd be kind of interesting. Airshark the Chosen. What if Krillin finished Vegeta off? So basically, if Krillin actually did the deed, disregarding Goku's request, well, it would have made the whole situation on Nemec far less precarious, that's for sure. Because Vegeta would have caused less stress for the Earthlings on Nemec. So they probably might have gotten results a little quicker. So I think that's pretty much it, really. Joseph Allen, not very original, but what about if Bartok went to Earth with Goku? Well, Grandpa Gohan probably might have ended up being killed, pretty much, or maybe similar in a way to how Gine and Goku were, like they end up being starved from food and stuff like that, and then Bardock just, you know, kind of just sticks around and stuff just because, you know, food.
Yo, old man, food.
Pretty much just the same with Gine, but just far less polite. It'd almost be a carbon copy of the Gine scenario in some way. Original Bears, just because it sounds fun. What if Gohan was a part of the Hero Association in One Punch Man? I'd suppose that he would probably ending up being a C class hero, with traces to become a B class when he used his Rage Boost. I think that could easily be that. Timothy Rohn, what if Goku never came back after the Nemec saga? Well, if Dr. Giro found out that Goku wasn't around, he probably would be just saying, well, I'm going to basically destroy the planet or destroy your friends until Goku shows up, pretty much. But, you know, I don't think it would really sway much.
Don't think he would destroy the planet, but he would he would most definitely, you know, get rid of. Yeah.
He would turn the script, definitely. Exactly. He'd be basically just like saying, don't toy with me, tell me where Goku is. So he may actually...
Frieza would still return, so Frieza would blow up the planet.
Yeah, pretty much. Joseph Renner, what if Masako combined the most popular what-ifs? That would be a very, very big undertaking, that's for sure. Definitely. Again, you know, there is a plan to do so, with hopefully if we have the right resources, we might be able to actually make happen one day. So, watch this space. Joseph Allen, actually, I don't know if I can do two, but here's an idea. You can. What if Broly went to Earth as well? So basically, if Broly ended up going to Earth with Goku, or at the same time, depends. New Broly or old Broly? Old Broly, he probably would have ended up being raised by Grandpa Gohan, but I think he would have ended up basically having a Jonathan Joestar and Dio moment, like, really? As in, like, Broly would be inherently, you know, twisted and stuff like that.
We should also remember that Paragus would pursue him in those scenarios, so, you know...
It depends
like...
on whether Broly... No, but it depends if Broly saved his father. Or if he just found himself. It depends.
Yep.
Jeffrey Brandstetter, what if Goten was born in the future? Goten Black. Ooh. No, but, so basically it was future Goten. It would depend on something, various circumstances. Like, if Goten was conceived before Goku died from the heart virus or something. But I think probably, like, Chi-Chi wouldn't have let Goten out of her sight. Because with future Gohan, that was already a strained relationship. She would not let Goten fight no way. There'd be no way she'd let him fight. Yeah, because she'd just be clinging on to the fact that, you know, I've already got one son who's basically risking his life every day. I'm not having that happen with my other one. This is my only connection to Goku I have left. So yeah, I don't think she'd allow that to happen.
But she might have sent him to the future with Trunks, hoping that to the past, hoping that the past would be safer.
Maybe, and just like say, look, if you're gonna go back to the past, can you leave Goten there? Or just like, can you like just explain what happened and then maybe Goten could stay there, or something? Maybe, it depends. Yeah, various things. Mortune, what if Beerus wished to get Universe 6's Saiyans? So basically, in a way, if they lost the tournament, Beerus said, "All right, I'll let you have my Earth if you give me Sadala," or something like that. That's the only way I could make it work.
Yeah.
Unless Beerus somehow just collected the Super Dragon Balls in his own time, and just took Sadala from Champa without him noticing, or something like that. He would do that. Like saying,
yeah,
oh yeah, you took my Earth, I'm gonna take your Saiyans, bye! He'd do that.
Yeah.
Cody Connor, what Lantern Corps would Gohan be a part of? What would you think, Haverok?
Green, most likely, I think.
Oh yeah, no, Gohan...
Willpower, yeah.
Yeah, no, Gohan's a good boy. He'd be a Green Lantern, that's for sure. No, definitely. Jesse Guff, what if Cell killed Hercule? Well, he almost did. But basically, if Hercule, when he got whipped into the cliff, actually ended up being killed, then, yeah, he probably would have ended up being, well, we wouldn't have had 16's head being kicked to Gohan. So actually, you know, Cell may have won. The fact that Hercule survived, you know, that's a big deal, actually.
I would have been much less frustrated as a kid, because as a kid I couldn't stand Hercules.
No, definitely. It's only when you grow up you actually realize he's not all that bad. A Heartless Fang, what if the Cell Saga played out like a horror movie? There'd be a lot more jump scares, that's for sure. Basically, just look at Halloween, our little DBZA special. But I would say that basically Imperfect Cell would be even more horrifying. Absolutely. He'd be ending up being even more scary. Because they go for that angle, definitely. Think what we did in DBZ Kai 3.5. That one was quite twisted. Jeffrey Brenstetter, what if Gotan was born in the future? I believe we have covered that. Joseph Allen, what if Android 21 was the villain of the Cell Saga? Well, we basically have a lot more back chat between Cell and Android 21, that's for sure. Because we got that in Fighters. It depends. I think maybe Cell might join the good guys just to kind of get her to shut up or something. Because at that same time, margins didn't exist. So Android 21 would just be, you know, the scientist 21, like the humanoid. The margins aren't aware. She's not aware of the margins existing at the time.
Also, depending what would be her motivation at this point of time. Like, it's a very deep well.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends. It depends on why she's even there. Demon OJM. What if the Master of Master Roshi didn't... Mutaito, I think, didn't perish after using the Mafia or Demon King Piccolo? I think Mutaito would have ended up being... he probably would have ended up being like, oh, the next person that Roshi would send Goku to.
Yep.
Like, Mutaito would have ended up being just like the next like challenge before Korin, maybe? Or something like that.
Yeah, another mentor for Goku, maybe for Krillin as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Sylvester Smith, thank you very much for your super chat. Sophie makes a good point. How would I go about writing consequences in Dragon Ball Z? Specifically, how would you approach something like a justice vengeance plot for Vegeta over his past evil actions? Well, writing consequences, just making sure that people remember that there are consequences instead of having characters forget they're even a thing. Definitely. Actually having them endure, you know, that kind of thing, definitely. For basically vengeance plot for Vegeta. So basically, I just would think that he would end up, it would certainly evolve over time, that's for sure, because he would mature, he would end up just kind of adapting, yeah, pretty much. It would change. It wouldn't be the same static motivation all the time that Vegeta's a character, because otherwise that would just be quite dull. Demon OGM. Yeah, no, we've done that. Pokemon Master 2101. What if Vegeta didn't believe in the Dragon Balls? So basically, he heard about the Dragon Balls, but he mainly just was like, oh, that's not possible, or something like that. Well, if he didn't believe in the Dragon Balls, then he wouldn't have gone to Earth, pretty much. And Frieza...
I mean... Listen, I think he would go, because even if Raditz was weaker, they would like to check, you know, what happened to
but they
Raditz.
wouldn't be there after the Dragon Balls. They wouldn't care about the Dragon Balls or something.
Yeah.
They'd be just there to fight the Earthlings. Okay, that's fair. Quote, if Super Saiyan Blue is mixed with Super Saiyan, is there one for Mystic? Probably not. Probably not. Unless... Because I think it's its own Mystic God Key power type thing. I think that's what it is, pretty much. It's bestowed by a divine being. And by the way, John Riggins, welcome being a new member. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Welcome. He is he's the artist of Dragon Ball Time Slip, a comic which is adapted from the What If Trunks Met Kid Bulma. You can go check that out. Dragon Ball Time Slip. But yeah, in terms of Mystic, I don't think God Key works with that. And by the way, Joseph Allen says, what if Videl beats Popovich? I'd be much happier and I'd be much less traumatized as a child. I'm just going to say that. Would. I'd be much happier.
Yeah.
Isaiah Frazier, goodish Turles and Goku versus Goku Black for laughs. There'd be a lot of like... There'd be, again, a lot of laughs, but the fact that everyone looks the same. Turles would probably make more remarks about Goku Black being derivative and stuff like that. There'd be just a lot more jokes. Golden Vocals. What if Goku was born with God Key when Beerus came? So basically, if Goku just had God Key the whole time, I don't think that would really work, because God Key you don't just have it. You train and then acquire it. Like, you're not born with God Key. You're born the potential to, and if you become strong enough, then you can. But I don't know. I don't think that that's something that is actually viable. because Goku could not be born with God Ki, because Toriyama didn't even know that was even a thing. Isaiah Fraser, what if in Trunks' timeline, Capsule Corp started evacuating humanity like in GT instead of fighting back? The resistance is a diversion. So basically, they do technically have the means to leave the planet. So, if Bulma decided that, okay, things have turned south, I'm just going to instigate a, you know, basically an escape plan. Just go to New Nemec or something like that. I think that's the thing that they do. So maybe when they realize that basically these guys cannot be beaten, so maybe like Piccolo and stuff like that, Piccolo may end up surviving or something like that. Or, I'd say a couple more Z fighters would have survived.
And, you know, Namek and Dragon Balls, you revive people with Namek and Dragon Balls, they train, and they defeat androids.
Yes, but they would escape to New Nemec as like a kind of like almost a safe haven. Yeah. So I would say maybe Ten Shinhan and Yamcha would be the ones that survive, because they end up wanting to help Bulma. So Ten Shinhan and Yamcha help the rescue party, and they end up being on Nemec for a while. And then they use the Nemecian Dragon Balls to bring everyone back. And then bring them to New Nemec, and they train, pretty much. And then they basically just ask, they ask Kami to lay low, like in the lookout, just like you just stay put, don't move, just keep an eye on everything. So I think probably they use Kami as like a spy. It could be interesting, actually. Actually, make a note of it. Yeah. Timothy. What if Vegeta married Launch? Ooh, that'd be fiery. That'd be just like Bulma and stuff like that. I think Launch's thing would be much more interesting, because I think Vegeta would actually quite like the challenge. So I think that could actually end up being a viable relationship. Uziel, what if Roshi was a woman? Tsunade, pretty much. Or something like that. I don't know, actually. That's actually a good point. I think Roshi, I don't know. I'd probably maybe just say the same, just with guys. Or something like that. But I think with, you know, but with Goku and Krillin and stuff like that, probably less thirsty. Well, definitely less thirsty, that's for sure. But would have would have her moments, I'd say. Just toned down a little bit. Instead of a 10, it's more like a 7. Victor Bryce, what if Cell used the multiform to absorb people more quickly? Like when he was laying low to go about gathering energy more quickly. That's actually a very good point. That definitely is something that he could do. But it's a question about whether he's actually capable of doing it. Because he can do the multiform. And if he did do that, it would depend on whether they could actually be able to, like, whether they could actually go a far enough distance. Because I don't know whether multiforms can actually travel very long distances from each other. I'm not sure.
I'm checking this.
Yeah, let's check. We'll come back to that one. So maybe like looking at the topic of range. Night Drop. What if Cell traveled back early? Also, thanks for all the amazing content. Well, thank you, Night Drop. So basically, if Cell traveled back early, he probably would have ended just absorbing more people and probably stayed low until finding out that the androids were even around. So he probably would have just skulked about a little more and become an urban legend and stuff like that. But he probably would have ended up having a much more powerful advantage to begin with. No, I would say that, definitely. Sin Overlord. What if Bartok achieved Super Saiyan God? Well, he's already the legendary Super Saiyan in an episode of Bartok, so why not? But actually, it depends. I don't think he has a pure enough heart, not even in the Broly movie, to even acquire it. So I don't think Bartok, he would have to acquire a purer heart in order to do so.
I mean, do you still treat pure heart as a requirement? Question mark.
Well, you know, it is still a thing, to be fair. It is still a thing. So, that is something to consider. John...
There is no mention of... I'm sorry to interrupt you, but to finish up with the multiform, there's no mention of proximity. It just... The clones are created by the user's energy level divided into 4. So not 2.
Oh, right. So probably if we go by Zenki's maths, then basically it could actually mean it being even more potent, like a 50 times multiplier. Or something like that, or even more. That's a good point, actually. John says, I've tried posting this twice, lol. What if Goku was raised by the Ox King and grew up as Chi-Chi's adopted brother? Well, he probably would have ended up being a lot more sophisticated and much less like of a country bumpkin. He'd be a lot more refined, that's for sure. But I think also the Ox King would recognize his potential of being a warrior. But considering that the Ox King's power level is like 900, Goku would probably be actually much stronger. He'd probably end up being the chief bodyguard when he's older of Ox King's empire.
He would be much more like Sun Wukong in this scenario, I feel.
Yeah, pretty much. He'd be Sun Wukong. He'd be a lot stronger. Yeah, he'd probably be way stronger. But probably a lot of the things that made Dragon Ball what it is. I mean, maybe Goku would have gone with Bulma as a protector or something like that. Like Ox King, they found a way to put out Fire Mountain, and then basically Ox King said, "Oh no, take my son Goku along. Yeah, take him along as your protector," and stuff like that. Like as a guardian or something to Bulma. So maybe Goku and Bulma would have still traveled and found the Dragon Balls, but Goku would have like joined in right at the end. But I think he would have ended up being a lot stronger.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's interesting. Well, actually, let's make a note of that.
Yeah.
That was from John Riggins, and I believe a couple of other people have mentioned that as well. Super Saiyan Forehead again. What if the roles of Saiyans and Frieza's race were reversed? Also, Trunks was recruited after he beat Imperfect Cell, so he didn't fight Black. Okay. So if the roles of Saiyans and Frieza's race, so basically, if the Saiyans were the ones tasked to destroy Frieza's planet, so basically if Beerus somehow talked to King Vegeta and say, "Hey, you guys are good at destroying people. I don't like these people, the Frieza Empire. Take them out." And but I pretty much would say that, oh, well, we don't have the firepower to do it. Beerus would give them the firepower to do it. He'd give it somehow. Like either...
And the Empire has multiple planets, so they would have to destroy all of them.
Yeah, and Beerus would probably go, "I don't care how you do it, just do it." And then he would blow up Planet Vegeta because they didn't do it fast enough.
Oh, Zeno wouldn't be happy with so many planets blown up just because.
Well, Zeno wouldn't care, but the Supreme Kai would be going, "Oh my goodness, even more planets! Oh no, what do I do?"
I mean, not Zeno. Great Priest would make mortal level is suddenly dropping in Universe 7.
Beerus would go and say, "Beerus, what's going on here?" Super Michael 98. Don't be mad. What if Goku was part of DC Comics? Well, you'd have maybe. I think Goku in the modern age DC movies, like with Aquaman and Shazam, would actually work quite well. Like, big tough guy, got a good sense of humor and stuff like that. I think in this modern age of the 2019 DC movie featuring Goku would actually be pretty decent. I think DC could actually do a good job at it these days.
Yeah, he would fight Vegeta, and they would discover that both of their mothers were called Gina.
It's like, her name is Gine! Gine! Gine, why did you say that name? And stuff like that. Cody Connor. What if Bulma continued Jiro's Android project? Well, we kind of saw that with Android 21, Good Boy 21. I'd say we definitely did see it there. So basically, she would try and tone down their malicious intent, and as we did, and with Android 16, like just kind of disabling the Goku protocol, definitely. But I think Bulma would accelerate development and progress on that, like exponentially, like no end, because of the extra facilities that she'd have. Manifesto. What if Full Power Ultimate Gohan fought Broly in the Super movie alongside Goku and Vegeta? Would he even last longer than Golden Frieza did? Probably. He probably would have ended up being pummeled just as much as Golden Frieza was. Because I'd say at that point, true Golden Frieza and Ultimate Gohan were around about the same power.
I think Golden Frieza is slightly more durable
Yes.
because of Frieza biology.
More stamina than Ultimate Gohan, but if you were talking raw power, then I would say that they're about the same.
Remember, if you cut Gohan's head, he's dead. If you cut Frieza's head, he's still alive, as we learned in the Resurrection F.
Yeah, basically, if you're just a blob, a blob with an eye, you technically are alive. Somehow. Super plays. What if Super Saiyan 4 was canon? Who would you give that form to? Well, technically, Wrathful Broly is really Super Saiyan 4. That's the evolution of Super Saiyan 4 and Super. And Super Dragon Ball Heroes, Super Saiyan 4 is in there, so technically it is canon-ish.
Everyone and their dog has Super Saiyan 4 in Heroes.
Yes, of course, because it's marketing. Pokemon Master 2101. What if the Android 1718 were never awakened? Well, Cell would have to somehow find and come across Dr. Giro's lab. And I don't know whether they would actually work if they were not activated. So if Cell didn't know how to actually turn them on, then what's the point? There would be no way to be able to do it. Because, I don't think it would really work if they were not activated. So if Cell couldn't figure out a way to activate them if he found the lab, then they would pretty much just be like dead weights.
I mean, question, why they weren't activated? Did Giro won? Did Giro decided to not activate them? Because if he decided to not activate them, then he wouldn't have activated Cell. So, a lot of questions in this one.
Yes, no, definitely, because I think he believed I think he shut them down the first time because they were rebellious. Like, pretty much, yeah, they were considered failures. His tolerance for failure is very, very low, pretty much. If you have a personality, you're deemed a failure, pretty much. The only successful androids are himself and 19, pretty much. Like, yeah, all of them were failures except for him and 19.
Yeah.
George J. What if Goku was found by the Red Ribbon Army?
He would end up on Jiro's table and being experimented on, I feel.
Oh, yes. No, Jiro would have done something, and probably quite dark. Just made him into an android, a baby droid, or something like that. Or maybe just raised him up and then ultimately turned him into a kid, mechanical kid or something like that. Yeah, no, Jiro would have not... Yeah, that would have been quite dark, actually. Yep. Warrior D13. What if Goku and Vegeta's family members were all wished back to life? So if Bartok, Gine, Vegeta, King Vegeta, and...
Queen Vegeta, whatever her name is.
Yeah. Tarball. If they were all... Well, no, Tarball's still alive, actually. Yeah. Well, I think King Vegeta and Cassava, as I'm calling from the Bardock Convinced Saiyan, saying Cassava, Queen Vegeta, whatever. I think they would end up... It depends. You say, granted, they're wished back to life, but they're in space, because there is no planet Vegeta. So you would need to actually wish back the planet first.
Specified, I think King Vegeta would actually be angry that Vegeta hasn't taken control over Earth, and...
Yep.
That's a very long question.
Yeah, he'd be less annoyed finding out that Frieza was gone. Or no, he'd be horrified if Frieza was actually joining sides or something like that, or Frieza was just left roaming around. Like, you didn't even avenge me, son. I did, Dad, twice. It's like, oh my God, Dad, I did twice. He just keeps coming back like a pest. Pretty much. Joshua Lopez. What if Dr. Giro defected from the Red Ribbon Army? Well, I think he would have ended up just going on his own. He would have flown solo. He has more than enough capabilities and technologies to be able to do it on his own. And technically, he did do that. After the Red Ribbon Army collapsed, he just made his own lab in the, in the mountains near North City. So
and he did that alone. He did that alone.
Exactly. So he would have just done what he did sooner, pretty much. I think that's pretty much what he would have done. So he would have ended up doing that. Definitely. Alright, I think that's pretty much, we've gone through the backlog already, so I think we're pretty much going to wrap things up. We've been over an hour, actually. We've actually gone quite a ways over our minimum, so I think we'll just start to wrap things up and stuff like that. So all I can say is, again, thank you so much for watching and sharing your opinions and sharing some what ifs. We've actually had some really good suggestions here. And if you did just get here like Ivy Bassett, you can check out the archive of this that will be processed and uploaded here momentarily. So you'll be able to like see it or something like that. So you'll be able to like catch up with things that were explained. And who knows? You might end up actually yeah, having some of these what ifs coming to fruition in the months to come. Certainly gives us some ideas, and definitely unconventional ones. So again, thank you very much, everyone, and thank you very much, Haverok, for joining us. So
thank you. Always a pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. So until the next video. Oh, actually, stand by for the R&R auditions. Next week we will start to I will put out the video who's going to be up to audition for. And yeah, just stay tuned for that. But yeah, episode 5's in production. So anyway, have a good night, everyone, and take care. Thank you very much, Haverok, for joining me. And I'm saying good night. So good night, everybody. Peace out.
Good night and Bora Bora.
Bora Bora.